Power has always been sold as the ultimate prize: control, respect, legacy. From the outside, it looks clean, impressive, almost untouchable. History books celebrate the victories, the crowns, the empires. But what they rarely show is what power demands in return. Because every time someone rises to the top, something is taken from them: trust, morality, humanity. And the higher the power, the higher the cost.
In this video, you're not going to hear the glorified version of history. You're going to see what happens behind closed doors, the choices no one talks about, the betrayals, the fear, the paranoia, and the slow collapse that almost always follows. Why did so many powerful figures end up isolated? Why did empires fall from within? And more importantly, what does all of this teach us about power, ambition, and the price that always comes due?
Power creates an illusion. From a distance, it looks like freedom, like control over your destiny and the destiny of others. It promises security, influence, and immortality through legacy. That illusion is one of the most dangerous forces in human history, because it convinces people that once they reach the top, the struggle ends. In reality, that's where the real struggle begins. The moment someone gains power, they also gain enemies. Some are obvious, others are invisible. Power doesn't just attract loyalty, it attracts fear, envy, and ambition from those closest to it. And slowly, the world around the powerful begins to change. Conversations feel different, smiles feel calculated, silence feels threatening. What once felt like leadership turns into constant vigilance. At first, the cost seems small. A compromise here, a moral shortcut there, a decision justified as necessary. But power has a way of normalizing darkness. What once felt unthinkable starts to feel practical. What once felt wrong starts to feel inevitable. And the line keeps moving. History shows this pattern over and over again. Power is rarely taken cleanly, and it's almost never maintained without sacrifice. To protect control, leaders justify betrayal. To maintain order, they justify violence. To stay in power, they sacrifice people who once mattered. Not always because they want to, but because power demands it. And betrayal becomes a tool. Those who rise alongside you eventually become threats. Allies gain influence, advisors gain knowledge, friends gain leverage. And in the world of power, leverage is dangerous. Trust becomes a liability, loyalty becomes temporary, the circle tightens, and with each betrayal, power grows colder. Many of history's most powerful figures weren't destroyed by enemies outside their walls. They were undone by people they once trusted, by inner circles collapsing under fear and ambition, by whispers turning into plots. Power isolates, and isolation breeds paranoia, and paranoia changes everything. When you hold power long enough, you stop reacting to reality and start reacting to fear. Fear of losing control, fear of being replaced, fear of betrayal. Decisions stop being made for progress and start being made for survival. Surveillance replaces trust, punishment replaces dialogue, control replaces leadership. Power promises security, but delivers constant anxiety. History shows leaders who built entire systems not to protect their people, but to protect themselves. Walls, guards, spies, purges. The more power they held, the more fragile they became, because absolute control creates absolute vulnerability. One mistake, one betrayal, One crack, and everything collapses. What makes this pattern so disturbing is how consistent it is. Across centuries, across cultures, across ideologies. Empires rise with ambition, expand through force, stabilize through control, and decay through paranoia. The names change, the symbols change, the outcome rarely does. From ancient dynasties to modern regimes, power follows the same cycle. It rewards ruthlessness in the beginning. It punishes restraint. It elevates those willing to cross lines. But eventually, it turns on its owners. The very tactics used to gain power become the seeds of its destruction. Because violence creates resentment, betrayal creates instability, fear creates rebellion, and control creates resistance. And then comes the fall. Sometimes it's dramatic, a public execution, a violent revolution, a sudden collapse that shocks the world. Other times, it's quiet. A ruler fades into irrelevance. An empire dissolves slowly. Power slips away piece by piece until nothing remains but history's judgment. What's striking is that the fall often comes from the inside, not because power was challenged, but because it was consumed by its own weight. Systems built on fear eventually choke themselves. Leaders surrounded by yes-men lose touch with reality. Decisions made to protect power end up destroying it. And in the final moments, power offers no protection. Behind every throne, every title, every empire, there is a human being. Someone who once had fears, doubts, and limits. Power doesn't erase those things, it amplifies them. Loneliness becomes deeper, guilt becomes heavier, regret becomes unavoidable. Many powerful figures reach the end not with satisfaction, but with emptiness, surrounded by wealth, yet disconnected from trust, remembered by history, but haunted by choices. The cost they paid cannot be undone, and the power they sacrificed everything for cannot save them. This is the part history rarely romanticizes, because it's uncomfortable. It forces us to confront a hard truth. Power is not evil by nature, but it is unforgiving. It exposes character, it magnifies flaws, and it demands payment. The real lesson history offers isn't about domination or glory. It's about restraint, awareness, and understanding limits. Power without accountability becomes destructive. Power without empathy becomes dangerous. Power without reflection becomes a trap. And this isn't just about kings, emperors, or dictators. The same patterns exist on smaller scales, in organizations, in relationships, in everyday life. Whenever control becomes more important than integrity, the price begins to accumulate. History doesn't repeat itself because people are ignorant. It repeats itself because power feels different when you're holding it, because everyone believes they'll be the exception, that they'll handle it better, that they won't cross the same lines. Until they do. And that's why understanding the true nature of power matters. Not to reject it completely, but to respect its cost. To recognize the warning signs, to learn from those who paid the price before us. Because power always asks the same question: what are you willing to sacrifice? History is not just a record of victories, it's a ledger of costs. Every empire, every ruler, every dynasty left behind a balance sheet written in human choices and consequences. And the final question history leaves us with is simple. If power were placed in your hands, What price would you be willing to pay?